Indiana Pacers lose a heartbreaking game to the Milwaukee Bucks, 117-115. Myles Turner made his return, and Giannis Antetokounmpo hit a game-winning shot as time expired. We're going to talk about all of this today on Setting the Pace. Let's get to it. What is up, Pacer Nation? Welcome back to another episode here of your go-to Pacers podcast. I am live here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and joining me is my co-host to talk about the Pacers' loss to the Milwaukee Bucks, 117-115 on a Giannis Antetokounmpo game winner. It is Michael Facci. Facci, how's it going, man?
I've seen better times. I really have. Man, that Giannis shot, I didn't expect that to go in. Anytime you can get Giannis to settle for a jumper, you got to live with it. This is a jumper over Nesmtih and Jarace, and he hits it at the buzzer. That was, I don't want to say crushing, but it was a major letdown.
No, it definitely was, because I think what we saw in this game, Facci, was just an incredible effort from the Pacers, right? A lot of people are looking at this Pacers team and thinking, okay, how did they close this one out? Was Quenton Jackson out there? Was anybody else out there that made sense? It's like they're down to no point guards once again. RayJ Dennis doesn't play in the second half. He entered the game with a questionable injury with, I think it was a back injury, if I'm not mistaken. So he played the first half, didn't play the second half. Quenton Jackson, I think, tried to dunk on Myles Turner, ended up hurting himself, hurt his hamstring, did not return to the game. They get super weird in the third quarter with some weird lineups with Tony Bradley and Jay Huff on the court, and actually had some decent minutes, but no Johnny Furphy. And then he comes in the fourth, injures his ankle. And so at the end of the game, Foch, like, they had their five guys that had been starting previously a couple of 3 or 4 games ago. But at one point, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl is closing out this game.
Fourth quarter minutes for Jeremiah Robinson-Earl? Like, it's like, this is like, I had tweeted it out. At one point, Taylor Peter full court pass to Tony Bradley. It's like, this is where we are at right now. And the Pacers have so many injuries. It's guys that you would have never expected to be playing meaningful minutes early on to start the season are. And it's another game where Indiana fought and came up just short. And they've battled many games, and there's just so many injuries, they just can't get the job done. And tonight was another night like that.
Well, I think obviously the biggest storyline is the game-winning shot by Giannis, but
It is.
the other storyline, though, that's probably right there, 1A, 1B, it is the return of Myles Turner, and they did have a tribute video, Facci, and as you expected, a lot of boos rained. The video was very loud in the arena. You could not really hear the boos, but then after that video ended, boos just continued. They introduced him in the starting five. Boos continued. I know that Wish TV 8 here locally, a news station in Indianapolis, was videoing Myles Turner during the entirety of the tribute video. At the end of it, he was kind of like sarcastically responding to it, put his hands together, folded his hands, said that we're closing the chapter on the Pacers. It's over with. And the Boo Birds continued, and they played one little clip in there from when he said, you know, like, this is his city, whatever, like one of those lines where he was like, Indiana's my home, whatever. Fans booed him even more. Look, every time he touched a basketball, the boos got louder, and every time he messed up, the cheers intensified. So it felt very reminiscent to Paul George's return, and I don't know if it'll continue every time he comes back, but I kind of think it will.
Yeah, no, he missed his first free throw, and I remember being like, "Ooh, all right." Yeah, the fans are booing. It's pretty funny. My daughter goes, "Oh no, he missed." I go, "No, no, no. Turner's a bad boy," and she kept saying, "Bad boy, bad boy," and I was like, "Yes, get him." But he ended up hitting like his next 2 threes, and I thought early on, Turner could be in for a good game. 7 points in the first quarter, finished the game with 9.
Yeah.
So not a big performance by Turner, 9 and 7. Like I said, most of that damage was done in the first quarter. He was very active, with shot, blocked shots in this game. But
Yeah.
I felt like early on when he hit his first 2 threes, I thought, don't tell me he's going to end up having like a killer game. And it just didn't quite end up being that. But from the crowd standpoint, we got our answer. The boos were definitely evident.
Absolutely. I mean, the guy had 5 blocks in this game, and there was a couple that were taken away that could have been blocks. He had a couple block shots that ended up turning into fouls from other players on his team. I mean, he was very active at the rim, and I think the Pacers kind of forgot, oh, this guy can actually block shots pretty well. Now, I will say there in the end of the fourth quarter, he had a good look at a corner 3 and passed that thing right up. I mean, he wanted no part of it, and at the end of the day, like, we kind of expected Turner to not have a great game. I think at least I did statistically, because I know that emotionally, like, Myles is trying to play it off like, oh yeah, like I'm here for the booze. Like it bothered him a little bit. I think he was probably a little bit hurt by it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he doesn't want to have a bad relationship with the fan base. I don't think personally, but it's just the way things went. And let's be honest. I mean, it was really the front office the Pacer fans should be mad at if they don't like that Myles left, because the front office, they kind of dropped the ball on this one. Let's be honest. They kind of lowballed him with what they were giving him offer-wise, but that's besides the point. He's a Buck now. He's the enemy, and that's that. But the person who the Pacers have replaced Myles Turner with, Facci, in this starting lineup is Isaiah Jackson. And dare I say, Isaiah Jackson is back. Isaiah Jackson, that is 6 straight quarters of very good basketball from Ajax tonight. The best game we've seen from him since his Achilles injury last year.
Definitely since his Achilles injury, and you could kind of make an argument one of his best games that he's maybe ever had. Like
Very much so.
Yeah, he's had some bigger, maybe, a lot more blocks or steals or this or that, but like there's only a handful of Isaiah Jackson, 20 and 10 type of games. He had 21 points, 10 boards, 4 of them come on the offensive side of the glass. He had a couple steals, he had a block, he was efficient, he was 8 of 12. Like I thought he played really, really good. He had a great take on Giannis that was an N1 where he got to the free throw line, and that was like, it was great to see some nice emotion out of him. So this is the Isaiah Jackson that you hope to see at times. I can't say this is what you hope to see nightly because this is, him playing a great game, but very encouraging to see. Even if it's in a loss, he gave you everything he had, and this is something you could really build off of.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's just getting a little bit more comfortable out there with what they're asking him to do, and maybe just getting more comfortable with his injury, dealing with his injury. I mean, obviously the athleticism was there tonight. 2 steals and a block. Like
Yep.
he's not going to be the elite rim protector that Myles is, but I think he's a little bit quicker on his feet. Like that play that he had there in the fourth quarter where he was at the top of the key with Myles, drove right by him to the basket and laid it in. I think that cut it to 5, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have cut it actually to 3. And so I think it actually cut it to 3. So it was a really great drive by Ajax. And by the time Myles kind of looked back to see what had happened, Ajax is already lifting up for the layup. So, the reaction time from Myles was very slow. But yeah, I think that tonight was probably the best game I've seen from Isaiah Jackson in a long time. And hopefully he can build off of this. I know it resulted in a loss, but it seems like he's playing with much more confidence out there, knows what he wants to do, how he can be involved in this offense. And look, the Pacers close this one out once again with no point guard, like we mentioned at the top of this episode. So you're trying to play point guard through Ben Shepherd, Jarace Walker, Pascal Siakam. Like it's just a hodgepodge of guys out there that can bring the ball up the court and do anything. So I personally just say the results are the results. It sucks, but I really like the way that the Pacers kind of were able to find a way to get back into this game when getting down double digits in that fourth quarter. I mean, they just kept clawing and they kept scratching. It just wasn't enough in this game.
I know. There's no pat on the back for hey, this is half a win. You played really hard. It doesn't work that way. But you saw this team battle. They fought at times. It looked like it was going to be really rough. Like you mentioned, battling back from double digits once again. And then there's just some little plays over here. Sometimes you got to get a stop. They fought hard. Jarace Walker had a great, deflection on an inbound pass at times, and Nesmith had a great take late in the game, and Pascal Siakam was cooking. There was a bunch of guys that made good plays late in the game, but injuries add up. And I feel like for the Pacers bench, they just really didn't have much off the bench tonight. I mean, you get 2 points out of Jeremiah Robinson Earl, 4 out of Tony Bradley, 3 out of RayJ Dennis, 5 out of Ben Shepherd, 3 out of Taylor Peter, 3 out of Johnny Furphy. There's just not that much going on there. I mean, overall, you could add up all the Pacers bench stats and it equates to, a good game for one player. So you didn't quite have that, but I just feel like overall you saw a lot of heart. And I wish we wouldn't see so much heart in losses, but there were some encouraging signs. I think some of them are, the play of Pascal Siakam, the play of Isaiah Jackson, the play of Jarace Walker tonight. There was a lot to like. I just worry about more injuries. Quenton Jackson was someone we just praised having his best game against Golden State. One game later, he's hurt again. Those hamstring injuries, they're really tricky. You
Yeah.
can't push someone back. I don't know what the timetable is going to be for him. But yeah, Indiana's got to now once again prepare to be pretty thin at the point guard position.
Yeah, they got the Brooklyn Nets on
Always
Wednesday
help.
night,
Always
right?
help.
And it does appear that Andrew Nembhard is the closest one to return. He was ruled out the day before the game, so we'll see exactly how close he is. But if they can get a win against the Nets and then get Nembhard back for the road trip, that hopefully does kind of shore up your point guard depth. But like the Pacers went to Mac McClung for 2 minutes in this game. They ended up playing Taylor Peters some at the point guard spot, and it was just a hodgepodge of what can we get out there. But I will say this, Facci, like the Pacers got to the foul line 38 times in this game. 38
Wow.
free throws to 22 for the Bucks.
Big difference.
They missed 9. They missed 9. And I think that's killer, but they were able to outscore them by 16 from the free throw line. The big knock here, though, Milwaukee, 20 of 47 from 3. Indiana, just 8 of 33. The Pacers shot 24.2% from 3. They are dead last in the NBA in three-point percentage of the season. It has been awful. And the crazy thing is 1/8 of the Pacers made threes came from Ben Shepherd, a guy who can not make anything.
A guy who came into this game having missed 16 straight threes.
Yep.
All right, you talk about Indiana making 8 threes in this game. At one point, Milwaukee made 8 straight threes
Exactly.
in this game. So I thought Milwaukee just had it going from 3-point land. It was frustrating. At times they couldn't miss. At times Indiana couldn't buy a basket. Aaron Nesmith alone was 0 for 7 from 3 before he hit his eighth attempt. So it was a tough performance from 3. This is one of the worries that I had in preseason. We talked about this, like Indiana's 3-point shooting. Like, what happens when you remove Halliburton and Turner, and then you have shooters like Nesmith and Obi Toppin that are used to being set up. Now you don't even have Obi Toppin out there. It puts a lot of pressure on Aaron Nesmith, the guy who's naturally as efficient as it gets, to really be asking him to really take his game to the next level. And I feel like tonight from 3-point land, yeah, the struggles were evident.
Yeah, and it's going to be a problem. I think as long as you don't have a setup man, it's going to continue to be a problem. Pascal's shot the ball pretty well, I would say, from 3 this season. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me for what his season average is, but I mean, he struggled tonight too, just 2 of 6, I believe it was, from 3. So, you know, you look at the stats so much. I mean, we touched a little bit on Pascal Siakam. I mean, just another incredible performance from him.
It is.
32 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 11 of 24 from the field, 9 of 12 from the free throw line. Like, yeah, he missed 2 key free throws in the fourth quarter, but like still, I mean, that's a much better percentage than what he had been shooting.
It is.
3 steals, 1 block, only 3 turnovers. He got 7 fouls drawn for him. Had a true shooting percentage of 54.6, which isn't like amazing, but still, you just can't say enough stuff. It's just like he's doing so much. And I saw a picture on Twitter, somebody tagged me in it, where the Pacers, and I believe it was the third quarter, they were meeting as a team, and Pascal's just at the far end of the bench, sitting down with a towel over his head, and it's just like he's got to be gassed. I mean, he is doing literally everything. He's guarding Giannis, and then being the focal point offensively, and making Giannis, work his tail off defensively. Like Giannis was exhausted. You could tell. Like Giannis could not really. Like to me, Giannis is not a great on-ball defender, and I know people will be like, "What are you talking about?" Like, no, he isn't. Like he is slow-footed. He's easy to get by, and Pascal's got quick feet and quick dribbles that he can score over Giannis, whether it's pulling up for a jumper or getting to the basket. Giannis is very, very good at like help defense and kind of playing that like center protection role, but I don't think he's a great on-ball defender. But they don't have anybody else. They are so small with this Bucks team with Green and Trent Jr. out there at the 2 and the 3. So, this was a missed opportunity for the Pacers, and you can be upset if you're a Pacer fan. Like they should have won this game. They could have won this game, but at the end of the day, like. It's really hard to get upset about what just went down because they fought to the bitter end and they end up just falling short. I mean, it's going to happen sometimes. And look, they've got the better of the Bucks the majority of the time when Halliburton's been out there, and I think they win this game pretty easily if they just even have half their guys that are out healthy. If you have a McConnell, Mathurin, and a Nembhard healthy, come on.
I'll do you one better. I think if Quenton Jackson just doesn't go down, I think you win this game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, play Ben Shepherd at the end, but
I'm not going to go as far as to say if Johnny Furphy doesn't go down, but I feel like Quenton Jackson, I think, could have had enough of an impact in a game that came down to the final shot.
Yeah.
So really unfortunate. Yeah, hit your free throws. Maybe if Siakam hits that free throw that he goes 1 of 2 at the end of the game, but like you can't point the finger in his direction. He was great. So you let this one slip by. This game would have meant more than others. This is the one that when you look on the schedule, there's the game against OKC to start the season, and there's this one. Those are the 2 that like really meant more than others. It's unfortunate. It's another opportunity that slips by. We'll play the Bucks quite a few more times, but for right now, I think this team needs to lick their wounds, be ready for Brooklyn. And Brooklyn is a team that nobody knows when they're gonna win. You lose to Brooklyn, you got some serious problems.
All right, Facci, we do need to take a quick commercial break, but before we do that, before we keep continuing this podcast, I want to talk about our sponsor of this show for today's episode. It is Ripple Bagel and Deli out in Broad Ripple, a terrific bagel sandwich. And if many of you guys remember, a couple of years ago, we actually created the Setting the Pace sandwich, which I think is still available on the menu. And the good news is, moving forward, for Pacers wins, if you show them at Ripple Bagel and Deli that you are subscribed to the podcast, whether on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple, you're going to get a free side or a free drink
Love
with
it.
your sandwich. And they have steamed bagels. They're absolutely steamed bagel sandwiches. They're absolutely phenomenal. I can't even tell you the numerous amount of combinations they have, but there's going to be a video overplaying my audio of me talking about this right now, Facci. And, I think that people, when you see this video right now that's playing, you're going to be wanting a bagel sandwich. So get down to Ripple Bagel Deli, Broad Ripple, Indiana. Have a bagel sandwich. Facci, are you a big bagel guy?
I am every Saturday. Every Friday. I get bagels for the family, and it's what I do. We call it Coffee Friday at my house. I make coffee Monday through Thursday, and other days. On Friday mornings, I go out. I get coffee. I get bagels for the family. That is what we do.
All right. So Facci is a bagel guy. I am a bagel guy. And Ripple Bagel Deli is waiting for you to come try out the Setting the Pace sandwich and maybe a different sandwich if that is not your go to. But let's get back to the game now, Facci, here as we continue to talk about what went down. So let's just dive in a little bit more to what we saw from Jarace Walker. I felt like Jarace Walker in this game, um, he has some of those plays where you're just like, wow, this is perplexing. It's not great. And then other times you're like, wow, he just did that. So highs
Yep.
and lows for Jarace once again, but what he did shot making wise in the fourth quarter was absolutely phenomenal. I think he was 4-4 for 10 points. Like, they needed those buckets, and they were big time shots.
They really were. 10 of his 18 came in the fourth quarter. I already mentioned that inbound pass that he defended against Ryan Rollins was awesome to be able to get that stop. That was great. He had 8 boards. He had 5 assists. He did a little bit of everything. And I think that, yeah, as a young player, there are going to be some highs and lows, but this is yet another encouraging performance to be able to build off of. And if we want to do the glass half full type of thing, although he has to play out of position, the loss of Obi Toppin opens up a big opportunity for Jarace Walker to just get some more minutes and some other guys that are out. Really creates the opportunity that Jarace has needed for consistent, extended playing time. And if we get answers on Jarace this season, he really develops, that is definitely worth something for this Indiana Pacers team.
Believe it or not, Jarace Walker led the team in minutes with 38 minutes and 10 seconds. Pascal Siakam was second with 37 minutes and 55 seconds. 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, he shot 5 of 9 from 2, Facci. He shot 2 of 6 from 3, which 33% would be great for this Pacers team. Ended up only having 2 turnovers. I get it. Like, I want to see more at times, but like, this opportunity for him is spectacular, and he needs to take the most of it. Obviously, at some point, you're going to get your guards and your wing depth healthy again. So he might not get the 38 minutes per game, but like right now, they need him to be good. And while it's not been great, I think that he's been better than he's been worse for the majority of the time out there. And like, let's be honest, like probably last year, all the minutes he's logging right now would be going to Ben Shepherd. So I think that this is growth, and I think that it is Carlisle and the front and the coaching staff saying, we need you. We need you out there for multiple reasons, and what you bring to the table, the skill set is much higher than what Ben Shepherd brings you. So I like that they're trusting him.
They have to. I think that like if you're gonna have any real success this season due to the injuries that you have, Jarace Walker needs to be a big part of that. It can't just be the Siakam show. And I also feel like, hey, if there's no Benedict Mathurin out there, like it's not gonna be Siakam and Nesmith every single night. It's gonna be like a rotating, group of Siakam, Jarace, Nesmith, miscellaneous. Tonight it was Isaiah Jackson with a huge game. So I think Jarace is someone that we need to step up, and I think that so far in the season he has. I mean, this is year 3 where players really get it. This is kind of where it clicks, and I think that so far on the year, yeah, you know what, the field goal percentage has been a bit tough at times so far. I mean, he's had his struggles, 2 of 9 against Golden State and 5 of 19 against Dallas and 2 of 8 against Minnesota and 2 of 13 against Memphis. Like, there's been some struggles, but at the same point, let the man struggle through it and be able to not have a short leash and come out on the other end. In the past, he didn't have such a long leash that if he made mistakes, he could be pulled. Who knows when the next time you'd see him out there. It's nice to see consistency on these minutes.
All right, I do want to give Jay Huff a little bit of a shout out here for some of the minutes he had tonight. Came in as the third string center. Once again, Tony Bradley got the nod for Isaiah Jackson right away. Then they went to Jay Huff there in the second quarter, Facci, and I liked what he did there. A couple of different plays that he had. It was like 3 plays in a row defensively. He was able to deflect a lob that was going to Jericho Sims. Also had 2 block shots around the rim. And he had a really nice pass, swing pass to the corner for a 3. I don't believe the player made it. I don't know if it was Jarace or not, but obviously nobody was hitting their 3s tonight for the Pacers. So most of the time, a good pass to a wide open 3 led to a miss. But I kind of like the way that he was filling into that role a little bit. To me, it feels like we've seen more from Jay Huff defensively than we have offensively, and I think the reason why they kind of brought him in here was to be more of an offensive player, and he hasn't really shown that yet. So I would continue to play Tony Bradley minutes over Jay Huff if I'm the Pacers, but I did like what I saw, and I feel like when there's good things that he does, we should point it out. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, how are you feeling on the backup center role? I mean, do you feel like it's a Bradley over Huff thing right now, or do you think it's still up for grabs?
I'm disappointed by Jay Huff overall. I think we all expected a lot more. I mean, I'm talking about from a 3-point standpoint. We thought, hey, that 3-point shot could be real. He's 3 of 17 on the season from 3.
That's
That,
terrible.
yeah, you don't want to share that stat with anybody and think that they're going to be excited about it. If anything, you go, that's gross.
Yeah.
But he does have 8 blocks in his last, 3 or so games. Maybe it's 4 games. He has 8 blocks in his last 4 games. He can rim protect. We've seen that throughout preseason. We've seen that in the regular season. Like he's a guy that can rim protect. He's got some good passes at times, but offensively, we haven't seen it. Have not seen it. Don't know when we will. Waited for, when are we going to get like a double-digit game or anything of the sort? Great highlights, which we talked about in the offseason. But so far, it does look like a highlight package where you do put together someone's best plays that they have on the season or in their career. And for right now, we haven't seen too many of them or any sort of consistency. Tony Bradley has been like vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream, however you want to put it. It's solid. You can't complain about it, but it's not wowing you in any way. There's no sprinkles or cookie dough or anything with it. It's just pretty good ice cream. Yeah, it's not bad. I've had better, I've had worse.
You know what's good about vanilla ice cream? It can go with a lot of different things, Facci.
We're good.
It can go with root beer for a root beer float. You can put it with milk for a milkshake. You can put peanut butter with it for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like vanilla ice cream, you can do a lot of things. Now, chocolate ice cream, there's some limitations to it, but vanilla ice cream is very versatile. I don't know if I would say that Tony Bradley is the most versatile, but it
I don't
is
know if I
very
would either.
vanilla. I like the way that he fits. It doesn't really matter what group he's with. Like I briefly mentioned it, but there was a lineup out there of Talon Peter, Ben Shepherd, Tony Bradley, Jay Huff, and was it Aaron Nesmith was the third, like the 5th guy out there, and they cut the lead to 1,
I
and they were down
know.
by 8 points. The only reason that quarter didn't end better is because they started having this little scuffle thing between Torian Prince and Tony Bradley. I felt like it was way like overblown. It should not have been a double foul. Torian Prince was initiating all that, in my opinion, with Tony Bradley down there on the block because he's smaller, and for whatever reason, big guys always get blamed for getting into it with physicality with smaller guys because they just look so much more dominant. I didn't think it should have been a double foul, but then the very next play he gets called for a moving screen, which was a moving screen. He shouldn't have done it. But Torian Prince hits a corner 3 and Bobby Portis hits a 3 to give the Bucks a 7-point lead heading into the 4th quarter, which to me, those were kind of like not daggers, but they were like very big momentum changers because had the Pacers kept that 1-point deficit going into the 4th, things would have looked a lot brighter. But I mean, can we just talk about maybe the play of the game when Talon Peter got the rebound and threw a full court touchdown pass, Hail Mary, to Tony Bradley? He catches it in stride like Jerry Rice.
Really
1-2
did.
step, lays it in. I mean, who is Tony Bradley and when did he get this light on his feet?
I do not know, but that was the moment that I mentioned earlier where I was just like, this is exactly where we are at. We're like, Peter to Bradley, like, oh, like never would have thought that would have happened in, I don't know, June, July, August, September, any of those months. We would have thought like, yeah, when's that going to happen? Maybe when we're up
Right.
20 or something of the sort or down 20, but nope, it's in a close game. and it's in the start of November. And maybe it's not necessarily what you want, but that is what we're gonna get, and that's what we needed at that moment. So hey, cool to see those guys have a moment.
All right, Facci, I'm going to list off a handful of players. I want you to tell me what they all have in common. Aaron Nesmith, Jarace Walker, Isaiah Jackson, Pascal Siakam, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kyle Kuzma, AJ Green, Cole Anthony, Gary Trent Jr., and Ryan Rollins. What do they all have in common?
They scored more than Myles Turner.
Yes, sir. That's
There
it.
we go. There we go. Nailed it. I started doing the common thing in my head. I was like, okay, you know what? Yep, I think he did too. Yeah, that is definitely true. And I think that like as much as Turner wants to say, oh man, I come back over here, you're like, they did get the win. They did. But when you walk out with 9 points, 7 boards. Sure, he did have 5 blocks. That definitely needs to be included in there. It's not this like $26 million statement. It's like if he hit the game winner, yeah, okay, I get it. But like in the end, like yeah, Giannis is a problem. He's going to be a problem. He's always been a problem, and he had another great game. So I wish we would have got the win for the full statement, but it is what it is. We'll get our revenge later on.
Now, I wasn't watching closely, and I do apologize for this, but according to what Derek Kramer from iPacers saw sitting next to me, for players that Myles Turner shook hands with after the game, Tyrese Halliburton was not one of those players. So him and Halliburton did not shake hands after the
I was
game.
looking for it. I didn't see it.
I don't know if Tyrese just got off the court quickly or not, but I thought that was interesting. Myles did just recently say those comments about Tyrese would never talk the way that he talks out on the street, which I thought it was kind of unnecessary to say because no player would do that. I mean, let's be real. A lot of these players don't want to fight. So,
Exactly. Like not many people, not anyone with like no professional is looking to fight.
right.
Like you're not like some random guy who's got nothing to lose. Like it's Tyrese Halliburton. Who's he looking to fight? Is anyone in the NBA really looking to fight? Like maybe you can make an argument for James Johnson or something like that. But
Isaiah Stewart.
about it. That's about it. You know.
Isaiah Stewart?
I said beef stew is always looking for a rumble, but
Yeah.
outside of those two guys or so, there's really no one who's gonna just walk up on the street and start, talking like that. So,
Yeah.
and I can tell you one thing: Myles Turner ain't gonna do that either. Turner's not gonna do that. Like,
No, Turner wants no smoke. Come on now. I just laugh because Turner is the same guy in the locker room when Giannis is crying for his game ball, saying, "Don't give it to him, don't give it to him," and then he's like, back behind Buddy Hield, who's even louder than Miles, like saying, "Don't give it to him," because Buddy Hield's hilarious. But yeah, I just, I don't have a beef with Miles. I actually like Miles a lot as a person. I thought his reactions were actually pretty comical tonight to like how he handled all the booing.
yeah,
And what makes me laugh is like. They're not even, some people are like, they're not even booing the right person. They should be booing the front office because of them not getting this deal done. But look, I think it's more than just what he did about leaving and him being mad at the front office. But it's like, even if you're mad at Kevin Pritchard and Chad Buchanan and Ted Wu for not getting a deal done and kind of lowballing Miles a little bit, like you're not going to boo the guy that brought you Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. So like at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. Like Miles said, the book is closed. I don't want to talk about it too much more. Obviously, when they come back to Indiana, we'll respond then. But at this point, it was his first return. It's great to talk about it. It's fun, but I think we can move forward. Any final thoughts on the game? Anybody we didn't touch on that you thought deserves some praise?
no, I think just unfortunate ending. Great game. Saw a lot of hustle, heart. The boys fought, scratched, clawed, everything, every possible saying you could possibly use in this instance. But you got to play a more cleaned up game. And I felt like in this situation, hit some free throws, defend late. Do what you got to do. I mean, it's not even so much of a clean it up type of performance, but it's more of just like in a game where the margin of error is so thin, you can't shoot as poorly as you did from 3 point land. 8 of 33. I mean, it's as the difference of if 1 3 goes in earlier on, you win. If one more free throw goes in, maybe you're not even in that situation. I don't know, but at the same point, you know what? AJ Green missed a free throw late in this game, so it works both ways. Unfortunate loss. Can't pat ourselves in the back and give ourselves a medal, but you know what? The boys will be back. They'll rebound against Brooklyn. We'll see the Bucks 3 more times this year, and there's still an opportunity to take the series when we get more healthy.
All right, last question for me. What do you think about Giannis giving the boo sign to Pacer fans after he hit the game winner? Do you like that he was giving it back to him, but I'll give my thoughts in a second, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
You hit a game winner, you can do anything you want.
Okay, that's fair.
I think that's just how it goes. We saw Tyrese do the choke sign against the Knicks, and this, like, in that moment, you have the floor. And I think for Giannis, I can't hate on it. It was just like, hey, you know what? Do you? That was an incredible shot. Really unfortunate to be on that end of it, though.
Alrighty, well, I will just say this. They weren't booing Giannis, so I don't get the whole point of him throwing the boos up. Like, they were booing Myles Turner. Maybe he was defending his teammate by doing that, like showing him that he loves him. I don't know. I just, like, if they were booing Giannis the whole game, sure, but like, whatever. I mean, I just thought it was interesting. Now, I will say this as we're closing things out. From Dustin Dopiriak, Johnny Furphy has left the locker room on crutches.
Really unfortunate. It's been such a not even to say up and down start to the season for him. It's just been a down start. Like, he's just been hurt all throughout, trying to make it back. Had a big opportunity here. Now it's like, for a guy like Furf, I don't know. I don't know what the extent of this ankle injury is. It felt like an eternity to get him off the court in that moment. It was like, come on, somebody yank him. Like, this guy is clearly limping around. So don't know when we're gonna see him. The right hamstring injury for Quenton Jackson. Don't know when we're going to see him. Obviously, we're still waiting on Nembhard and McConnell, who could be closer. Maybe Mathurin, but even then, each of those players could be 1 to 2 to 3 weeks away.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't want to sound like I'm just like trying to give the Pacers excuses here for not being able to pull out the victory, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm trying to take it in stride one game at a time. It's 1-6, a terrible start for the Pacers season. They're not looking great, but at the same time they're competing. And honestly, aside from 2 games probably this season, you can say like they just look terrible. So the other 4 games they've lost, they've been very, very close games that could have gone the other way. So it's just a matter of getting healthy, staying the course, and developing your players, because the development we're seeing from some of these guys, it's huge. It's huge for the season moving forward. It's huge for this season as we try to like compete maybe to get into the playoffs, because look, you could start out 2-8, 2-9, whatever, and still go on a run and somehow make it into the Eastern Conference in the play-in, and then be a tough out and go back to what they were 4 or 5 years ago. But being a tough out with this group is not a negative thing to say. It's just
a shiver down my back even hearing tough out. It's just bad times.
I know it is. It's reminiscent of Malcolm Brogdon in the era of the Pacers had there. But
exactly.
With that being said, we're going to close it out for today's episode. You can find Facci on Twitter at _FACCI. I'm at Alex Golden NBA. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the like the video. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Subscribe on Apple and Spotify if you listen to the audio side of things, and if you listen somewhere else on Google Play, wherever you're at, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, and let everybody know in the comment section what you think of this show. But with that being said, Facci, if you're hoping the Pacers can get back on their winning ways against the Brooklyn Nets on Wednesday night, then hit me with those 3 words.
Let's go, Pacers.